What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, the newly crowned IBO, IBF, WBA, and WBO heavyweight champion of the world, states that he is not going to the UK. Now, the funny thing about this is that at first, backstory, he would prefer it to be in Mexico or Madison Square Garden again, or maybe the Staples Center, somewhere on this side of the pond. That's what he preferred. Okay. Then when Dillian White gets popped with some type of drugs, he spirals some kind of scenario or narrative that, hey, I'm not going there, it's a setup, and he uses that as an excuse not to go, which made no sense at all. Like, it had nothing to fucking do with you. It had nothing to do with the fighter that you're fighting. It had nothing to do with anything that you got going on with Anthony Joshua. Then he comes back and retracts that and says, well, I'm pretty sure wherever the fight's going to be, it's going to be a great fight. Okay, so we got a little bullheaded, little passiveness, then bullheadedness, then humbleness, right? Now we're going back to bullheadedness, or should I say pettiness, because now you're telling us that you're not going to the UK because you're the champ. Not knowing you signed a contract to fight the champ at the time, but now you're telling us, well, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. And the only reason and the only question I have for Andy Ruiz is, why? Why aren't you going there? You know, why aren't you going there at all? Like, you should have, like, what's the problem with going there? What's the problem with your last statement that you retracted and said? Why are you going back on what you told us now? Now it's, I'm not going there because I'm the champ. I'm insisting in that it's going to be here at Madison Square Garden and I'm willing to fight. Well, if you're willing to fight and you're sure that you can beat this guy like you beat this guy, why are we having such a resistance? You know, look, I know Andy Ruiz is not accustomed to this. This is all new to him. You know, it's all new to him. You know, all of this is. But I think, to me, it sounds like he's doing some Tyson Fury type situation where he thinks he's bigger than what he is already without getting out of the contract. Something Jarrell Miller knew. Jarrell Miller knew that he had to go to the UK and fight him because Jarrell Miller was the original fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was the original. He was the guy that Joshua intended to fight. Ruiz is a substitute, and he didn't really understand what he was doing, obviously, because what I see from Andy Ruiz, because he refuses to fight like he says, he's refusing to fight in the UK, I see bullheadedness, I see pettiness, because it's petty. If you believe you can beat Anthony Joshua, it doesn't matter where the fuck it's at, all right? Or unless he's not really sure, unless that was a fluke. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what Ruiz is really doing. All we do know is Ruiz is having a great fucking time right now. He's having a great time being who he is. The newly crowned unified heavyweight champion of the world, the first of his kind, being a Mexican or a Mexican American. We know that. But I see some insecurity there. And in the Joe Rogan's podcast, he let the cat out of the bag a little bit, saying, well, no, that's not going to happen, you know. But he didn't really elaborate. But in this article, he states that he's not going. He's just not going. You know, it's not going to happen. Well, he talked about his struggles, and I covered it. I respected his struggles. I respect anyone's struggles. But then now, you know, with the problems he had with Bob Arum and all this and that, he had to buy himself out of his contract That tells you something about Andy Ruiz or his team, the people around him. It's amateur night. Amateur night. Because you see how they're conducting business. This is business. This has nothing to do with how big your balls are, how good of a fighter you are, or any of that shit. This has everything to do with business. And it seems like to me that he's not respecting that concept. Okay? The reality is he has to fight Joshua again. You think Eddie Hearn's fucking playing with that? Eddie Hearn has nothing to lose when it comes down to his cash cow, Anthony Joshua. He has nothing to lose with that. And here's the thing. This is what I want to break down to you guys. Eddie Hearn is not playing. And Eddie Hearn knows he has Andy Ruiz dead to rights with this contract. And what's sad about it is Andy Ruiz being petty, being fucking an amateur, right? Being unprofessional, don't even know. You think this guy would go to court, pay lawyers, court fees and time and building a case if he didn't have one? Think about it. This shit is cut and dry. Andy Ruiz is about to fuck himself because he doesn't realize what position that he's in. But that's what happens when you get the big head. That's what happens when you think you're somewhere or you think you've arrived and you haven't even reached the fucking shore. That's what's happening with Andy Ruiz. He got a certain amount of money for fighting Anthony Joshua, and he needs to understand that's where his blessing came from. His biggest blessing. The blessing that Jarrell Miller fucked up. The blessing that Ortiz fucked up. He received. So he should know better. And he should be willing to fight Anthony Joshua, win, lose, or draw, wherever the fuck it is. It doesn't matter if it's on the moon. He should be willing to go there because he knows this is my biggest fight that I will ever have. When you start thinking it won't or it ain't, that's the problem, and that's where the problem lies. And I think that's what happened. Someone's been telling him, oh man, you can be bigger than and make more money than you ever believed in your lifetime. No, you won't. That remains to be seen until you beat Anthony Joshua again. And if Andy Ruiz beats Anthony Joshua, if he's clever or smart enough to fight the motherfucker again, he should learn that is no guarantee that he's going to receive that type of money again in his life. Because even if he beats him and he fights Deontay Wilder, he ain't making that type of fucking money. There's no guarantee it's going to be that, that way. He's just a guy that beat the guy. You know what I mean? And up until now, we're still trying to prove that you're not like Buster Douglas. You're not this one-hit wonder because every time he came up short. Now he hits pay dirt, but now he has to do it again, okay? And it leads me to believe that it's a smidgen or maybe more of insecurity, I don't think that Andy feels that he can beat Anthony Joshua anywhere in this world. Just for you saying, oh, I don't think I'll get a fair shake, that's not enough. Because that did not stop Tyson Fury from fighting Deontay Wilder, even though there might have been some favoritism. Who knows? That did not stop him from fighting Deontay Wilder in the States. You know what I'm saying? That's that. Andy Ruiz is going back and forth, and you're not staying consistent to what you have to say or what you want as a champion. You're just saying, oh no, I have rights. Maybe Andy Ruiz does have rights, but the rights and the things that he has doesn't include where the venue will be at, okay? Where the venue will be. So, again, I think that Andy Ruiz needs to humble himself, chill the fuck out, stop listening to whoever's telling him to only have that fight here, because I know these are just tactics from Al Heyman and the people that are over Andy Ruiz. They're telling him to say that instead of saying, man, look, sign the contract, let's fight wherever they want to fight and get this shit over with. They could have done that, but they're not doing that. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Because maybe they're trying to stall, and that's all they're doing. They're stalling, And if Ruiz, because maybe they're thinking this way. This is my only thing. Maybe Andy Ruiz's team is thinking, well, if we say we won't go, let's see what they say when we say we won't go. Let's see what they do. You know, and I don't think they really want to do that with Eddie Hearn. All the shit that he's been through lately. Because he's liable to fucking, okay, I'm gonna fucking sue you, and then I'm gonna sue you for more money than we gave you for the fight purse. And if that happens, Andy Ruiz is back where he fucking started. And I don't know why he can't see that. I wouldn't even want to be in that position. If there's any way that what I have and what I created by God's will and opportunity, okay, and there's no way in hell I'm going to let some other shit like my ego or some other motherfucker trying to tell me to wait and stall mess that up for me. I'm not going to do that. And he knows this is the biggest opportunity for him, and I don't know why he's treating it like it isn't. So it's crazy. You know, Andy Ruiz, he needs to humble himself, you know, stop being petty, okay? Sign the fucking contract, because there's no guarantee that even if Anthony Joshua himself says, you know what, let's just fight in America, Eddie Hearn might say, you know what, fuck it. No, that's not how it works. He's telling us what to do. And, you know, it's that ego shit. If that ego shit keeps on, the only person who will lose is Andy Ruiz, because they have a case against him. They have him by contractual agreement, right? So there's no way, and there's slim chance that he can win a case. And if he does win the case, right, it'll be so far on and lawyers and shit like that, which I doubt, because Eddie Hearn wouldn't take no one to court if he feel he didn't have a case or if he couldn't win that case. That's not like a businessman knows that, okay? So Andy Ruiz should know that, and he should acknowledge that, and I hope the best for him. But at this point, he's just getting too petty, and he needs to really chill out and realize what's going on. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Andy Ruiz's statements. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.